Hello, welcome to the Farmers Market Nutrition Program Reauthorization Training. Thank you for being here. My name is Sarah Servin. I am the Farmers Market Nutrition Program Coordinator with the Maryland Department of Agriculture, and I'm going to guide us through this training process. There will be a quiz as part of the requirements from USDA after this training, so please just pay attention as this is a reauthorization process. I'm sure a lot of this information is a review for many of you, but just to make sure we have a quiz at the end. So let me just go through the agenda really quick. So we'll probably pass on introductions. We'll go through the history of the Farmers Market Nutrition programs for both Senior and WIC, the reauthorization process, the timeline for 2025 for the Senior and WIC FMNP programs, rules and regulations of the programs, civil rights and compliance, our experience with Healthy Together. We'll do a little summary and then go over a few other Maryland's best and nutrition benefits programs. If you do have any questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be at the end of the presentation, and I'm available. So just to go through the two programs, first the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program, just to give a little bit of history. It was created at first in 1992 with the Child Nutrition Act of 1966 and is part of the Supplemental Nutrition Grant Program. And it's funded through the USDA Food and Nutrition Service Division and distributed through state agencies. This funding level is determined each year by Congress in the annual Agriculture Appropriations Bill. And I just like to highlight this information because where the WIC Farmers Market Nutrition Program and the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program are located at USDA are different. And so for WIC, it's at the Agriculture Appropriations Bill and is determined annually. As of 2024, Farmers Market Nutrition Program operates in 49 states, territories, and tribal lands and is funded over $20 million. On the senior side, the Senior FMNP moved from a competitive grant to a permanent program in the 2007 Farm Bill, so it's in the Farm Bill. And 57 states, U.S. territories, and tribal organizations received funds in 2022, serving probably close to 800,000 people at this point. And in the most recent Farm Bill, the amount that it was funded was $19.42 million. We're still waiting at this point of this recording in December 2024 for the next Farm Bill. So we'll see what the amount is at that point. It's typically ranges between $19 to $20 million. And each state gives different amount benefits depending on their number of people and how they want to distribute the benefit. The amounts range from $18 up to $50 depending on the state. And so that's kind of the national overview. Here in Maryland, we'll just talk slightly about how the FMNP and Senior FMNP benefits look here. So they're distributed annually starting in June for WIC FMNP. And they expire each year on November 30th. That's USDA rules that they expire on November 30th. In 2024, we had 156 farmers who were authorized and accepting electronic benefits. So they used the Healthy Together app to process FMNP payments throughout the 2024 year. In 2024, we had $30 available for each eligible WIC participant and $50 for seniors. And these funds can be used to purchase whole, uncut, fresh fruits, vegetables, herbs, and seniors can also use the benefit to purchase honey with authorized farmers at farmers markets and farm stands. As you all know, these have historically been paper checks, and we went electronic in 2024. And our redemption rates were pretty similar to what they were in 2023 and in previous years when we used our paper check system. In 2024, WIC was 66% out of the $454,000 that we received from USDA, and the senior redemption was 75% out of the $442,000 we received. And just to go over at a high level the Senior and WIC FMNP processes. So the Maryland Department of Agriculture is who manages the FMNP programs and the grants. We apply for funds, report on those funds, and distribute them out to the Maryland Department of Health and their local WIC agencies. And the local agencies then will distribute the FMNP benefits to participants in the WIC program at times of appointments or at specialized events. And then participants will spend the benefit at authorized farmers markets and farm stands. And on the Department of Aging side, because they're not necessarily enrolled in a specific program, each county runs a program slightly differently. Some of the counties will have a first come, first serve application process. Others will have the application open to all, but then a lottery system depending on how much funds they have available. But the benefits are ultimately distributed through the local area agencies on aging and through a lot of senior centers in the different counties. And so the authorization process to become an authorized farmer or farm stand. And so this is review for you all, but you must either farm in Maryland or be in a contiguous county of Maryland. So that does include farmers on the border counties of Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and DC. You have to grow at least 60% of the produce you plan to sell to FMNP participants and regularly sell at a farmer's market or farm stand. For the process, you must fill out an application through the Maryland One Stop account and complete the farmer application package, and then attend either an in-person or virtual training and complete an annual update in One Stop. And this annual update is really important because it goes directly to the WIC participants so that they can see which farmers are accepting the benefit and where they can find them. Then the final step in this process that's new for 2024 and moving forward is you have to download the Healthy Together app in order to accept payments. So you'd create an account on Healthy Together app, and then you would be able to accept payments from there. The authorization is good for 3 years. And so if you're taking this training, your authorization period is coming to a close. So this training takes the requirement for the training piece and this training plus the quiz at the end. And you need to also fill out the Maryland One Stop application as well. So once those two things are complete, then we will reauthorize you for the next 3 years. And for 2025, the WIC FMNP start dates are going to be June 1st to November 30th, and Senior FMNP will be July 1st through November 30th. And just to reiterate, there is no deadline to participate in FMNP. We offer trainings that are virtual year-round and kind of on as requested, and want to just make sure that there's no barriers to participating in this program. And that if somebody is interested in participating at any month in the year, then they can do that. And just reviewing some of the participant information. So WIC is $30 per participant, and participants will qualify based on their income, which is 185% of the poverty level. And then as a participant in the WIC program, eligible participants are either pregnant or have recently given birth, infants 6 months and older, or children up to 5 years and have a nutritional need. As part of the WIC program, participants will also receive nutrition education, breastfeeding support, community health screenings, and referrals to other community support programs. And on the senior side, in 2025, we're able to do $50 per participant again. This is thanks to some ARPA funding that we have remaining for 2025. And participants can qualify based on their income. They must be at least 60 years of age or older. And then at the time of application, they'll self-verify that they live in the county that they're applying in and that their income falls within that income requirement. And the FMNP timeline for 2025, the annual updates will go out from One Stop starting around January 10th. Annual updates are due around middle of May. So that's so that we can get that information up to the Department of Health and to the local agencies before the program goes live on June 1st for WIC. WIC FMNP benefits begin to be distributed on June 1st, and then the senior FMNP benefits begin to be distributed on July 1st. September 30th, this program, because it's a federal program, runs on partially on a federal fiscal year. So September 30th is the last day of the federal fiscal year. So it is also the last day that FMNP benefits can be distributed. So that's distributed from local agencies on the WIC side and senior centers on the senior side. However, participants have until November 30th to be able to use their benefit. And so just to go over some of the rules and regulations of the program, an authorized farmer can, and you all want, I know you all make sure that you do this, but can make sure that the FMNP benefits are only spent on whole, uncut, fresh fruits, vegetables, and cut herbs in their natural state. You can grow produce in Maryland or a contiguous county of Maryland, as I mentioned before. You can support shoppers in spending the full value of their benefit, and also allow seniors to purchase honey with their FMNP benefit. And you can also purchase up to 40% of produce from another local farmer. And imagining this as maybe you're a predominantly diversified vegetable grower, but your neighbor has blueberries, is in my example. And so if you want to purchase blueberries from your neighbor, or maybe it's apples, maybe it's corn, if you want to purchase that from your neighbor, and then to be able to diversify your offerings at the market, then that would be allowed as long as it's clearly labeled with the name and the location of the farm that you're purchasing from. And state agencies do have the right to verify the farm and location of all purchased fruits, vegetables, and herbs. And if you are at a market who is, maybe it's a producer-only market, those market rules would supersede this rule. And farmer cannot give change or exchange benefits for cash, accept FMNP benefits for eggs, meat, dairy, nuts, seeds, sauce, or processed food. Also, jams are not allowed either. Farmers can't treat FMNP participants in a way that is different from other shoppers or purchase produce from an auction or wholesaler and resell it to FMNP participants. A few more rules and regulations. The display, you all should have, and if you don't have or need more, please let me know. The WIC and Seniors Farmers Market Nutrition Program accepted here sign. Yeah, if you need more, just let me know and I can send them in the mail. You need to have your farm name posted and prices posted for all FMNP eligible foods. MDA does have some Maryland's Best signs for pricing available if you all need. We have those available for free. And general rules of the program, the same quality of produce being offered to FMNP participants is the same as other shoppers. FMNP participants cannot be charged more for their fruits, vegetables, and cut herbs than other participants, other shoppers. And farmers can help shoppers use the full value of their benefits. And just another reminder, WIC FMNP starts on June 1st and senior is July 1st. And all participants must use their funds by November 30th. And just to go over the civil rights compliance and guidelines for this program, and this is also in the farmer application package that you sign, but just to read it over, to participate in the FMNP program, farmers agree to and sign the civil rights statement below. In accordance with federal civil rights law and U.S. Department of Agriculture civil rights regulations and policies, this institution is prohibited from discriminating on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, disability, age, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity. If you do need to file a complaint, this is the formal complaint process for USDA. And then just going over really quick, in 2024, this year, Maryland FMNP and Senior FMNP went electronic, as you all, I'm sure, saw and experienced, and have lots of stories to share about it. But we worked with Healthy Together to develop the app for farmers and participants to access their benefit and pay. And I will share that the redemption was actually pretty comparable to what it looked like in 2023 with checks. So we're hoping that as people get more comfortable with using the technology, using the app, using the cards, and just getting more familiar with it, that'll increase redemption over time too. So this electronic system fully replaced checks. Participants predominantly, on the WIC side, predominantly used an app or website from their phone, and seniors all received a card. If you do still need to download the app or need any support with the app, please reach out to me and I can help you out with that. And then I'll send this link, but I thought maybe we'll play it. Let's see how that works. But I wanted to share how this looks on the ground. Great. So that was just what the FMNP process can look like had looked like in the Riverdale Farmers Market in PG County. And yeah, just wanted to share what that could look like there to see what it looks like on the ground. Ultimately, our goals for the electronic FMNP are kind of twofold. So really thinking about participants and their experience using benefits at farmers markets, as well as for farmers and their experiences at farmers markets, whether they're busier or a little slower. But the goal for participants on one side is to be able to have one space where they can access all their benefits in one place. They can spend their benefit in any increment, so no longer being tied to the $5 increments. They'll be able to, in 2025, they'll be able to see a map of where to use their benefits and be able to get directions from their location directly to the farmers market, which will be really useful for folks just being able to figure out where to go and how to get there. And then they have the QR code to pay farmers directly at markets and farm stands. And then similarly for farmers, we are also looking towards one solution where you can process all the benefit types in one space. So that's including SNAP, EWIC, FMNP, and Maryland Market Money as well. So trying to reduce the number of times you have to change screens and change apps and figure that out for yourselves and for each of your employees too. So the payment can be also paid directly through ACH. And you can use a smart device, a smartphone or tablet to be able to process their payments. So just going through a summary. So January 10th is when the annual updates are sent from One Stop to fill those out. If there's any updates on what farmers markets you're participating or any address changes or any other changes to your farm business, please fill that out by the middle of May, so that we have the most updated information to share with our WIC participants. And then June 1st is when WIC goes live, and then July 1st is when Senior goes live. November 30th is the last day to accept the benefits, and you can make sure that you use Maryland One Stop for both the annual application process and as well as the first-time application and reauthorization process. Your training is valid for 3 years. And the Healthy Together app is what is used to process senior and WIC payments. In 2024, all seniors received cards, and that's what we'll do in 2025 as well. And just a reminder that there's no deadline to participate in FMNP. Oh, and I think that I have the benefit is $35 per eligible participant on the senior side, but we actually are able to increase it to $50 this year for seniors, and it's $30 per participant for WIC. And just to run through a couple of the other programs that we have in the state and other nutrition benefit programs. So the first one I just want to mention that's within the Department of Agriculture in Maryland is called Maryland's Best. It's a free resource to farmers markets, and it's a marketing tool that we have at the Maryland Department of Agriculture, that we use to promote farmers and local agriculture and kind of seasonal happenings that are going on around the state that we share directly with consumers. And you would actually fill out, if you want to participate in the Maryland's Best program, I'll send you this link, and you would also fill out the application on Maryland's One Stop. And I just want to talk about the other kind of bigger year-round federal nutrition benefits as well that you may or may not be familiar with. So the EWIC is the larger wing of WIC. And part of EWIC, part of these monthly benefits that participants receive is the fruit and vegetable benefit. It is a monthly benefit that folks get on their card year-round. And so as part of the fruit and vegetable benefit, children will get up to $26 a month. Pregnant and postpartum women will get up to $47 per month, and fully and mostly breastfeeding women will get up to $52 per month. So this fruit and vegetable benefit can be used to purchase any produce except for fruit baskets, herbs, dried fruit, salad kits, or vegetables with dip. And separate from the fruit and vegetable benefits, folks also get on their card funds for milk, eggs, cheese, and other proteins. And so there are two ways to accept the EWIC card. There's the S3 Merchant Link app, which was developed by the Department of Health. It's a free app, or through Total Pay Go. And as part of this training, you were also authorized to accept EWIC. So you'd be able to accept that at your farm stand at farmers market as well. And the large majority, I'll just say the large majority of these funds are spent at grocery stores. That's kind of what the typical spend is. But that being said, there is an opportunity for farmers to connect with folks. If folks are going to the farmers market for the first time with FMNP, then they participate in the WIC program, then they have this card. So it's an opportunity for farmers to connect with folks and potentially create longer-term customers than just someone who's going maybe once or twice a year to the farmers market to use FMNP. So the S3 Merchant Link app, this is kind of what it looks like on the download page. If you're interested in downloading this app and getting set up through S3 Merchant Link, I can connect you to Andrea Tompkins. Her email is at the bottom. She works with Maryland Department of Health and runs the program on that side. You can also reach out to her directly. Her email's at the bottom. The other way to accept WIC is through Total Pay Go. Some farmers will use Total Pay Go for processing SNAP transactions, and you can also add on EWIC onto Total Pay Go at no additional fee. And there's grants available for farmers to receive equipment and a year subscription to Total Pay Go on marketlink.org. And one of the largest of the federal nutrition benefits is the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. This is a huge benefit that impacts Marylanders throughout the whole state. 1 in 6 Marylanders is on SNAP. And they also receive benefits monthly on this EBT card, and can be used to pay for all sorts of eligible food items. And also new to 2024 was the Sunbucks program, which is the summer meals program for students who will receive free and reduced price lunch. They receive $40 a month in July and August, and they receive those benefits on a card similar to the Independence card. But if a farmer is able to accept SNAP, they can also accept the Sunbox card. So we are seeing overall trends of SNAP usage increasing at farmers markets. It really is a trend that gets more people more food access to farmers markets, and this really reflects a demand among everyone for fresh, local, healthy food from farmers markets and from people in their community. So really quick, the SNAP eligible foods, it includes SNAP includes almost all types of foods except for hot prepared foods, alcohol, paper products, soap, non-food items, vitamins. But SNAP eligible food items would also include plant producing foods. So you could sell tomato plants or pepper plants or basil plants, and that would be able to be SNAP eligible as well. This is what the USDA FNS SNAP page looks like for applying for SNAP. If you are interested in applying for SNAP, reach out to me directly and I can connect you with someone directly at USDA who's helping farmers with the SNAP application. It's kind of a beast, and so it definitely helps to get someone from USDA to have your support or support you. And then this is just a nutrition benefits guide that I created this year that is meant to be helpful for farmers and for participants and for staff. And so I actually have an updated version that has images of FMNP and Senior FMNP and what those QR codes are. But if you're interested in getting some copies of this or just want the PDF and you can print it yourself, I will attach it to the email that I'll send with this presentation, and that way you can have it as well. But there are so many different rules for each of the programs, so sometimes it's just helpful to lay out different images and what that looks like. Okay, so your next steps. After this presentation, I would recommend taking the post-presentation quiz as long as this information is fresh in your mind. I'll get notified once you complete that quiz. And if you haven't done so already, please fill out the farmer application package on Maryland One Stop. We need that to happen before we can reauthorize you. And then once we receive your application through Maryland One Stop, MDA will be notified, and then as long as everything looks good, we'll approve it. MDH will approve it, and then we'll extend your authorization dates for another 3 years. And then the only thing that we would require of you would be to fill out the annual update. Thank you so much for attending this reauthorization training. This is my contact information if you need it. I'll also be sending a follow-up email. Please reach out through the season, through any part of the year. Let me know how it's going. If you have any questions, any concerns, please, I want to be available for you all. So that's my email, and that link links you to the farmers market page. And I look forward to having you all in the program again. Thanks for taking the time to reauthorize.